Hello to you. Today is April the 22nd, 2025, and I've got a short video about an article, a newspaper article in the Greensborough Patriot, dated April 26th, 1945, on page 2. And the article is called "The Treatment of Lunatics." It's a very interesting article we're going to go through. But before I start with this new information regarding the destruction of the millennial reign, let me first give you a short overview of earlier revealed information. Well, some people are new to this video, so let me shortly give you an overview about our beliefs and what we have discovered so far. You can look at all the information on my videos, but for the ones who already know many of my videos, you can skip this part, but if you want to stay, no problem. Okay. When you search fake history on the internet, there appears enough information for a lifetime of study. There's absolutely no doubt about it. History is whatever the conquerors penned down after their conquest. There is no truth whatsoever in all history that has been provided by our education, history channels, history books, and so on. History, or should I say his story, is manipulated, to say the least, many times inverted, and in case of older his story, totally fabricated. The historian Fomenko dedicated his life uncovering the lies of history. His books, history, fiction or science, quote hundreds and hundreds of independent sources confirming the same statement. History of what 200 years ago and earlier is totally fabricated. It is my conviction that all events which I'm going to mention hereunder happened in our past. The abomination of desolation happened in our past. The Great Tribulation happened in our past. The coming of Jesus in the skies with the army of angels happened in our past. The establishment of the 1,000-year reign happened in our past. The losing of the devil mentioned in Revelation 20 verse 7 and 8 happened in our past. The renaissance of the Satanists who died in the Great Tribulation mentioned in Revelation 20 verse 5 happened in our past. The start of Satan's small season of deception and wars happened in our past. I advise you to see my other videos on these subjects. It's a long way, if you want to go from the indoctrination of the world to the reality of our history and everything. It will take you several years to get to a certain point. I've been busy looking at everything in the world for the last 5 years, and I'm still not there. So if you're confused, don't worry about it. It's still confusing, even from my standpoint. The proof provided by the Bible itself. The proof is provided by the Bible itself. Specifically, Jesus' words. Now pay attention, this is important. So we have Jesus speaking to his crowd, and he said in Matthew 16 verse 27 and 28, "For the Son of Man shall come in the glory of his Father with his angels." And then he says there will be some standing here, which is 2,000 years ago. The timeline is not correct, but I'm going to talk about that. So 2,000 years ago, which shall not taste of death till they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. The same thing he says in Mark 8 verse 38 till 9 verse 1. Some of you know this already, but for the newcomers I always want to give a short overview. He says the same thing. So he will come with his holy angels, and some people who are standing here, which he says literally, which is, when he was alive on earth, will not taste of death until they have seen the kingdom of God come with power. But this one kills everything. Behold, he comes with clouds, and every eye shall see him, and they also which pierced him. I did not pierce him, you did not pierce him, your grandfathers did not pierce him, and your grandchildren will not pierce him. There's only one generation, one group of people that pierced him. That were the people who put the hammer in his hand and the nail, and put the nail through his feet. 5 times in Revelation, I come quickly. And that is the word techie, when you look it up in the Strong's lexicon. What does it say there? Techie means quickly, speedily, without delay. Check this. Go to Strong's lexicon and you will see G5035, how it was used in the New Testament. Very important. Because there is no doubt about it. This does not mean 2000 years later, period. Matthew 24 verse 15, Jesus prophesying to his disciples, when you shall see the abomination of desolation. Is that me? Is that you? Is that your grandchildren? Is that your grandparents? No, it's them. It's only them. This is not timeless. This only happened once. The other one, Jesus prophesying to his disciples, when you shall see all these things. That's they. He talked to them when he was on earth. Know that it is near, even at the doors. And this is what they were going to witness 2000 years ago. For the people who don't know that even the timeline is fake, I just don't want to overcomplicate my story. Wars, earthquakes and famines we're going to witness by them. Kingdom priests all over the world. It's mentioned 4 times in the Bible, by the way. Look at my other videos. Destruction of Jerusalem, they would witness that during their lifetime. Abomination of desolation, they would witness that. That's what Jesus said. Is he lying? Was he wrong? I hope you're not saying he was wrong. Because then you can throw away your Bible. Great tribulation, they would see it. Read Matthew 24 and the other 2. It's very clear. Son of Man coming in the sky with a cloud of angels. That's even mentioned multiple times in historic texts. This one, 2000 years ago, well, okay, you know, the timeline, blah, blah. But the Son of Man coming in the sky with the clouds of angels, there are 5-6 historians who witnessed that. My other videos deal with the strategies the Satanists used under cover of humanism to conceal their actions, which was the conquest of the millennial reign, causing the saints to move to the continents which are now hidden from the world maps. This is big fun. There are continents hidden from the world maps. I'll show that in other videos. And well, I'm not going to go into that, but some of you know. If you want to know, look at the other videos. They're big continents. They're about like as big as the whole USA. In the current level of population, there would be 400 million people living there. 400 million people living there. And we don't see them. Just imagine that. An alternative history, an alternative science, an alternative universe and an alternative geography was concocted, in which most of the Christians believe today. Look at the biblical cosmology and look at the cosmology of the ball flying through space. The deception and wars are reality right now. Most Christians are also victimized and are now under the spell of science, falsely so called. Look at my other videos. The Satanists destroyed the worldwide tropical temperatures, the worldwide free energy, the worldwide healing waters, the worldwide advanced technology, the building methods. I think they used anti-gravity. Flying buildings. I'm not sure about that, but I've seen old pictures. I don't know what it is, but it looks like flying buildings. Airplanes, automobiles, energy from the sky, and God knows what else. We're living in a destroyed world, and we think it's so good. Okay, I could carry on forever about this subject, but I have a different subject to discuss. Namely the article of the Greensborough Patriot of April 26, 1845. This is what it looks like. Almost unreadable. I did an effort to decipher it. The most interesting information is hidden within the text. Remember, the writers were as indoctrinated as most of us today, told of totally different narrative. They wrote from their point of view. Even when taking this into consideration, one can still read between the lines the reality of the nature of the destruction of the millennial reign. I'm going to show you the text. I'm also going to put this text in the description, but I will just go through it page by page. You just pause the video to read everything, because I'm not going to read the whole text, it's too much. As you see, a lot of text, but I've underlined the things I will talk about later. Very interesting text, let me tell you. It's just a text in a newspaper. You don't believe it. Someone put it on the internet, asked a question about it, and I thought, what's this? Then I looked it up, and now I've got this. Okay, some commentary on the text. The lunatics were imprisoned under inhumane and terrible conditions. I'm going to talk later who they were. But this is important, because the lunatics were the saints, and the ones revered as saints, and the ones who took part of holy and divine things. It says in the text. I'm going to show you later. You can read it in page 1 of the text. The text makes that very clear, that there were very inhumane conditions. Some of us know the existence of lunatic asylums. The text confirms that these lunatic asylums were all over the world. Read it. You're amazed. I have seen other reports that the laws that were made in such a way that any person could be locked up without any trial. Millions and millions of people were locked up. This was the way to create a new reality. Destroy every person who has knowledge of the old ways. The adults were locked up. Their children put in orphan trains. Their babies, which they must also have delivered during captivity, were brought to incubator centers. Children were put in forced labor on farms and factories. No education, because that would make them smart. Who were the lunatics? This is a text, I think from page 1. Lunatics had their golden age before laws were made, when they wandered forth at large and were revered as saints or as partaking of something holy or divine. But with laws and civilization, their iron age began. It is continued almost to the present time. Now, there are two things that are very strange. It says here, before laws were made. And then it says they were revered as saints or partaking in something holy or divine. And there is a contradiction here. Partaking in holy or divine cannot be without laws. You know, you have to uphold the Bible. I think the phrase without laws would mean the newly made laws enabling the new governments to put them in lunatic asylums. The saints and those partaking in holy or divine had to obey biblical laws. Otherwise, there would be no holy or divine. But the new laws, you know, made them lunatics. The lunatics were seen as most violent and dangerous for society. Now look at this one. So it starts here, page 3 somewhere. He first unchained 12 of the most violent and extraordinary proceeding is described by his nephew. The first man set at liberty was an English captain. He had been 40 years in chain, and his history was forgotten by himself and all the world. Look at this one. Here is your motive. History was forgotten by himself and all the world. There is your motive. In the text, history had been forgotten. That's why he was locked up. Ah, there we are. But now look how loony he was. The ones unchained were regarded the most violent. When you read, you see that the unchained person was not crazy at all. During the 2 years of his further detention, he assisted in managing the house. Where's his lunatic? Was he crazy? He was not crazy. Lo and behold, the philanthropists are mentioned. Some things have not changed. Isn't Bill Gates also seen as a philanthropist? It would not surprise me if these philanthropists were members of secret societies. Now when you look at the whole piece, you should read and study this thing. You see that good is evil and evil is good. That's how people of the 19th century were indoctrinated with. nothing has changed. Well, I hope this was helpful. If you've got any questions, look at my other videos first, because most of the questions I see in the comments are answered in one or more of my videos. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.